Okay, good afternoon everyone, and as I promised, here is our first video for 2024, and we're going to be on our path for CXC mathematics. Now, we're going to start off looking at vectors and matrices, and as you would see here, I have a definition that would help us start this session. So, for a matrix, it is a rectangular array of numbers, symbol, or expressions arranged in rows and columns. Now, that's generally what you would need to remember when it comes to what a matrix is. But in applying it, it's very straightforward. You would need to always remember just a few basic things, which we'll now start to get into. So, generally speaking, when it comes to matrix, we would have them in basically brackets. So we can have them to be just like a normal parenthesis, or we could have them as square brackets. So generally for me, I'll be using more of the square brackets approach when it comes to working out most of what we'll be doing in these videos. So let's start here now. Now, first things first, we need to understand that in a matrix, each number, letter, symbol, what is going to go inside is an element of the matrix. So let's say I have this here and I put the number 3 inside. The element is 3. So the element of this matrix is 3. So let's say now I make a bigger bracket here, and let's say we have 1, 3, 2, and 7. So as I said before, each element in each matrix is made up of elements. So 1 is an element, 2 is an element, 3 is an element, 7 is an element in this said matrix. So I hope this is actually helping you to understand exactly what it is you'll be looking at going forward. So let's move on to the next idea that we need to pay some attention to. So like when you looked at sets, you will have to give your matrix a letter. Most cases, all cases. But the main thing is that you need to actually be able to state what it is the matrix is. Instead of writing it all out, you can just use a letter. So let's say A, and let's say A now is equal to 2, 3, 0, and 5. So one of the biggest things that you need to actually remember when it comes to matrices is that a matrix, or the order of a matrix, is rows and columns. So rows and columns. You need to, this is like the most important thing for you to remember. Matrices, matrix, rows, columns, rows, columns, rows, columns. You need to just get that into your mind. Now, let's now use a little bit of drawing. So let me just go for blue now. So when we are going horizontally, so remember horizontally, when the sun rises basically, horizontally, that's going to be your rows. So when you look here at what A is, and if we are going to just go across here, that is a row, meaning we would call this row 1. So notice I'm just using a capital R with the sub number 1 here. So that's my row 1. Using that same approach there now, if give me a sec, to go across here, this now is going to be row 2. So just follow that. It's rows and columns, rows and columns, rows and columns. Good. So keep this in mind. Now, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to write back the same matrix. Remember, we're looking at A. And in A, we're going to have 2, 3, 0, and 5. Good. So let me just go for some different colors now. Let me go with red first. Now, these were our rows. Now, columns, let's say we have like a little flag, basically. So we have a flag here, whatever is on the flag. Now, let's not use this as an example. This is a bad example. Let's just use just a line drawn top to bottom. That there is our vertical approach. So basically speaking now, when we're looking at columns, this here is my column 1, and here is my column 2. So again, remember, matrices, rows and columns, rows and columns, rows and columns. So let's now move into what I'm trying to bring out to you now. So let me just go with this shade of blue. So you have something called the order of a matrix. Now, the order of a matrix is the number of rows times, so times meaning multiplying, the number of columns. Now, what I'm about to show you is very straightforward. You're not actually multiplying the two values together. It's how you're going to go about saying it. So what do I mean by that? We're going to use what we have here. We have row 1 and row 2. So our number of rows is 2 times, we put a multiplication, and the number of columns we have 1, 2. Therefore, the matrix A is a 2 by 2 matrix. And that's what you actually write to see. Yes, you're seeing here to be times, and I know this may confuse you, but for matrices, you're in this particular instance, when you ask for the order, you're just going to say how many rows and columns they have. That's all you need to focus on. So in this matrix A, 2, 3, 0, 5, we have it as a 2 by 2 matrix. So as we will be getting more into matrices, this is just the introduction. So what I'll be doing next is in the next video, I'll be going through the order of matrices. I'm going to have some matrix displayed for you. And let's work to identify how many rows and columns they actually have. So we're going to start there. And from there, we're going to then start to explore other of the subtopics in vectors and matrices. Like I said, I'm going to have to work on getting this content uploaded fast. So we'll be moving at a little bit of a pace. So once I get these couple of videos out and I can develop a rhythm on it, you'll see that the videos will be a little bit shorter. I'll be focused more on the point. But this here is now our start. Remember, guys, you asked for me to give you more work so you can get more practice done. Let's work towards that. This is your road to CSEC Maths 2024. Let's work with a plan and get this stuff done. All right, so yeah, this is going to be the end of this video. Next one, we're going to look at order of matrices, where you will be having some questions displayed for us to go through so that you can understand how the orders of matrices actually work.